Hello, and welcome to Art with Miss Michelle. Today we're going to do some fun patterned pumpkin drawings. So pumpkins are pretty fun to draw, and they can be easy if you know what to look for. And pumpkins come in all different shapes and sizes, but one thing they all have in common is they have these stripes going down them, which will make them kind of easy to draw and show that it's a pumpkin. So if you look at this pumpkin, it has stripes and they all connect to the stem, and then they curve around with the round shape of the pumpkin, so they're not just straight lines, and they curve down and they all meet at the bottom. So this is actually where the pumpkin started off as a flower, and then the flower falls off while the pumpkin grows. So to draw a pumpkin, what you want to do is get a rough shape of the pumpkin. So some pumpkins are more round, like a basketball. Some pumpkins are tall and skinny. Some are kind of not an even shape on both sides. Like this one's a little bit weird, but you can see it still has the lines going from top to bottom. This one's actually kind of heart-shaped, I guess. But yes, they can be really fun to draw, and we're gonna decorate ours with different patterns. Okay, so I'm going to draw a couple different pumpkins on my paper, and I'm gonna make it so it looks like they're sitting on the ground. So I don't want to draw them right at the very bottom edge of my paper. I'm gonna draw them a little ways up so then I can add the ground. So I'm just going to try to get the general shape of my pumpkin. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just going to look at it to get a basic idea of the shape, and every pumpkin is different, so even if it doesn't look exactly like the pumpkin you're drawing, it will still look like a cool pumpkin. And then I'm going to add the stem. Okay, so now I noticed I have these little points where my stem connects my pumpkin, and some of the lines actually end at those points, and then some go in between there. So I'm just going to start with the ones closest to the middle, and those are going to go towards the bottom center of my pumpkin, and I'm going to try to make them a little bit curved so they're not quite flat all the way. And I don't see the very bottom where they connect, so I'm going to leave a little bit of space in between each line. And then I could even make this a little bit rounder at the bottom where each section of my pumpkin is. And they're going to be a little bit straighter towards the center. They're still going to be curved, but as I get out to the outer edges, they're going to curve a little bit more with the shape of my pumpkin. And I'm just going to keep adding these until I kind of run out of room. And then I might see a little bit on the back behind the stem. Then I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side here. And that's going to make my pumpkin look like the striped texture of a real pumpkin. And then every pumpkin is going to have those lines in it, even if they have a slightly different shape. So I'm just going to make up a kind of tall, skinny pumpkin over here, because I want to draw a couple pumpkins that look like they're together in a pumpkin patch. And since I have one here to look at, I can kind of get the idea of how the stem will look and everything like that. Each pumpkin stem might be different. I'm going to make this one kind of twisty. And I'll do the same thing. I'll start in the middle with these lines. And then just kind of add some curved lines on the sides. And then this will look like a pumpkin. So even though I don't have one that looks like this, since I added those lines to it, I can make it look pretty realistic, I think. I think anyone looking at this would know what it is. Okay, then I'm just going to draw one more on this side. Okay, so now I have my 3 pumpkins together. You can draw however many you'd like. Then I'm just going to make a little kind of line so it looks like they're in a grassy field here. You can just draw a straight line if you want, but they're going to go a little bit behind the pumpkins so it looks like they're sitting down. If you want to make some shadows for them, you can. Now comes the fun part. So I could just color these orange, and a lot of pumpkins are orange, but I'm actually going to decorate them with different patterns because that's going to be more fun. So I can make up my patterns. I can do like a rainbow pumpkin if I want. But these are going to be really fun if I add different designs and patterns to them. So what I might do is choose like a few colors for each pumpkin, or at least each section of the pumpkin. And I'll draw different, I can either draw the same or different patterns in each section. So maybe I'll just draw stripes that kind of follow the line of the stem. And then I'll color them in. And I can either use colored pencils. You can use whatever you like for this. So colored pencils, pastels. If you want to do some painting, you can use watercolor or whatever kind of paint you like to use. It's more about just adding color and pattern to them. So it doesn't really matter. Or if you want to use markers, whatever you want to use, it will look great. Okay, so after I've colored these in, what I might do is just alternate them in each section of my pumpkin. So it's going to create a really cool pattern here. And then what I'll do is alternate the colors in each section. So I'll have, like, this will be my green and blue, and then I might do yellow and orange here, and then green and blue, yellow and orange, and it'll make a really neat pattern across my whole pumpkin. And then for my other pumpkin, I might choose a different pattern, like maybe polka dots or kind of swirls or just something cool. So if I keep coloring my pumpkins like this, they're just going to look really cool, and this is a really fun project. So hopefully you can think of some cool designs to add to your pumpkins and have a good time with this art project. Okay, so I have finished coloring the designs on my pumpkins. So now I can color the stems. So the stems also have lines on them. Like the pumpkins, the lines kind of continue up the stems. So I can just kind of draw those lines on there with one color and then color them in with another color. So I have two colors that are a little bit different but kind of similar. So that's just going to give a little bit of contrast for the lines on my stems. Okay, so now I just have the sky and the grass to fill in. So for the sky, I kind of want to make this look like a nighttime sky. So I might just make a few stars and then I was thinking about just doing some stripes of different colors of dark purple and dark blue to make it look kind of dark like the night sky, but kind of colorful so it's not just black, so it kind of goes with my pattern theme with the different stripes. So I might do some wavy stripes because that would give it a little bit more depth and be a little bit more fun. And I just want to make sure I color my stars first, or at least draw them so I know where they're going to be so that my stripes don't overlap with them. And then I'll just kind of alternate my blue and purple colors here. Oops. I guess I have more purple than blue, but that's okay. Then I can just start coloring in my different stripes with my different colors and alternating my colors. Okay, so I've spent some time coloring this with different patterns. I have my pumpkins and a cool pattern for my sky with some stars. So now I just have my grass left. So this has taken me some time, but if you spend the time to make these patterns and stick with it, it will look really cool. So I'm just gonna do a little pattern for my grass. I think I'm just gonna kind of make the top with triangle type shapes to mimic the blades of grass, or give it like the idea of blades of grass, and then just kind of make a striped pattern with different colors of green, like dark green to go with my dark sky. And then when I color those in, this will be done, and I think it'll look pretty cool. So don't be afraid to spend some time on this to make it look really cool. It's not that quick, but if you spend time on your art, that's how you're going to make a really nice quality art piece. So I hope you like this pumpkin, nice festive fall drawing. And I hope you get some ideas for some cool patterns to use on your drawing. So thanks for watching my video, and happy pumpkin drawing.